Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. In a recent episode of The Real, actress Tamera Mowry-Houesly and one of the hosts of The Real said that she prayed that her daughter Araya would look like her. And when she said that she wanted her daughter to look like her, she did not mean in terms of facial features. No, your Tamera Mowry wanted her daughter to look like her in terms of her brown skin tone and her kinky hair texture. Now, most people who pray to God, like your Tamera Mowry-Houesly, who alleges that she's a Christian, would usually pray for their daughter to be born to term as a healthy baby. And they would pray to God that their child grow up to become a healthy, functional child and a healthy, functional adult. But your Tamera Mowry-Houesly is a biracial Afro-American Negro female. And when it comes down to the biracial Afro-American Negro female, some of them tend to be extremely dysfunctional. And because they are so caught up in skin, hair tone, and hair texture, they don't really think about the things that are important as related to their child's health or their child's future. And because they get caught up in superficial things, they go out here and say that they want to pray for their child to have a certain skin tone and a certain hair texture. But when I listen to this Tamera Mowry-Houesly, it clearly shows me, again, how deeply mentally damaged this woman is and how deeply dysfunctional this woman is. Because when you are so caught up in skin tone and hair texture, it's clear that you are insecure as related to your black identity. And it's clear to me that Tamera Mowry-Houesly clearly has issues as related to her black identity. And because she's insecure about her own blackness, this is why she would go out of her way to go talk about praying for her daughter to have this dark skin tone and have this dark hair texture. And what makes it completely illogical for her to make this prayer about this child's skin tone and hair texture being dark is the fact that your Tamera Mowry is married to Adam Houesly, a white man. So how can a biracial Afro-American Negro female who is only half black have a child with dark skin and curly black hair if she is married to a white man? That's just not logically possible, because the child she has with that white man would only be 1/4 black. So she would be considered a quadroon if we were in slave times, and she would only be considered 1/4 black overall. But because your Tamera Mowry-Houesly is insecure about her own blackness, she's going to sit here and try to pray to God for something that is biologically impossible. And the reason why she's praying for this, again, is because she's not comfortable about being black, and she's not comfortable about her own black identity. Now, when it comes down to this Tamera Mowry-Houesly, she has a history of putting her foot in her mouth. And this statement about praying for her child to be this dark-skinned child with curly black hair, this is par for the course as it relates to the dysfunctional things your Tamera Mowry-Houesly has said. Now, in a previous episode of The Real, your Tamera Mowry-Houesly said that her white husband had to check her because she asked him about putting mayonnaise on a sandwich. And when she made that statement, again, she clearly showed how dysfunctional she truly was. Because what man would get upset about mayonnaise on a sandwich? And what man would say that, putting mayonnaise on a sandwich would be something considered racial? But in this Houesly household, which we're supposed to believe is a happy family, we clearly see the dysfunction that's going on as related to this family. Again, when it comes down to a person who is following God, they are going to be looking for their child to be happy and healthy when they're born. They're not worried about their child's skin tone. But when Tamera Mowry-Houesly is worried about her child's skin tone, because she's worried about the future of her marriage. And when it comes down to the future of Tamera Mowry-Houesly's marriage, it's looking like it's getting ready to be over. And the reason why I can say it's getting ready to be over is because when you have a white husband who works for Fox News and he's sitting here getting upset about a sandwich, that's telling us that there is trouble in paradise. And when you have a biracial Afro-American Negro female sitting there praying that she has a dark-skinned child with dark curly hair, that tells me that this marriage is on the rocks and it's just about to end. And it looks like it's just about to end because Adam Houesly is moving up at Fox News and Tamera Mowry-Houesly is getting older. Now, Tamera Mowry-Houesly is 39 years old, and when it comes down to the white boys who are a certain age and are of a certain career level, when they see a 39-year-old biracial Afro-American Negro female with 2 kids, they see it's time to head out the door. And the reason why your Adam Houesly probably wants to head out the door is because he's looking at his career, he's looking at where he's going in life, and he's looking at all those young, attractive white females out there, and he's thinking it's time to end this marriage, and it's time for him to go on with one of these attractive blondes that probably works at Fox News, and deciding this is the woman he wants to be with, and he's deciding he doesn't need the biracial Negro female anymore, because when it comes down to this Negro female, she's going to keep him from being able to move up in an institution like Fox News, where conservative white guys are better off with white females. So that's why he's probably really upset at Tamera Mowry-Houesly and is looking at ways to get out of this marriage. And that's why she's talking about him checking her over mayonnaise, and that's why she's praying for this child to appear to be black, because she's thinking about heading back to the black community in the same way that biracial Afro-American Negro female Halle Berry decided to head back to the black community after Gabriel Aubrey and Oliver Martinez had children with her. And what they're going to do is try to go back to the black community with their quadroon children and come back and say that they're going to be a part of the black community. And that's what Tamera Mowry-Houesly is getting ready to do, is now that her marriage is looking like it's about to end, she wants to try to reconnect with the black community, and now she wants to reinvent herself and say that she's a black woman. And she wants to do this and say that she's a black woman in the hopes of snagging one of these Afro-American Negro simps out here, one of these simps who would look at this biracial woman and look at her creamy light skin and her hazel eyes and say, hey, look at that beautiful biracial woman. I know she got 2 kids by this white man, but maybe I can get a shot at this 40-year-old woman who is now a new resident of Bust Downtown and has come down to the 50% off level. You know, when it comes down to Tamera Mowry-Houesly, she knows her marketplace value has dropped with these white men, and now she wants to head down to the Negro community to be black in the hopes of getting resources out of one of these thirsty, dysfunctional Afro-American Negro men, because when it comes down to this Afro-American Negro male and biracial women, he has no standards, and in many cases, because he's spellbound by that light skin and that hair and those eyes, what happens is the Negro gets spellbound, and what he does is he wants to make an offer to that female, even if she has 2 kids by a white man. She still has a higher social marketplace value than your full black woman in the eyes of this thirsty Afro-American Negro male. And that's why Tamera Mowry-Houesly is talking about her child is black, and she's praying that her child is black, because she's hoping to head back to this black community, find one of these thirsty Afro-American Negro men who will pursue a relationship with her, take care of her kids, because we know Adam Houesly is going to get child support in the same way that Gabriel Aubrey and Oliver Martinez are getting child support from Halle Berry. So she's looking for one of these Negro men to be the one to sit here and take care of her in her old age and pay attention to her in her old age. That's what your Tamera Mowry-Houesly is looking for in the big picture, because she knows that when it comes down to this Negro and biracial women, the Negro, again, he loses his mind when he sees one of these biracial women with their creamy skin and their curlyish hair, and that's enough to just make him go crazy. And because, again, this Negro has no standards, he just sees the light skin, and that's it. He wants to have a relationship with her. And Tamera Mowry, knowing that she has no marketplace value as a divorced mother of two, knows she can get the highest value from this group of dysfunctional Negroes. And that's why she's sitting here talking about she's praying for a black daughter, because, again, she, like Halle Berry, wants to go back to the black community, because when it comes down to many of these black men, they just don't know when they're being insulted. And your Tamera Mowry-Houesly, by making that statement, slapped black people in the face, and is slapping black men in the face in the same way that Halle Berry slapped black men in the face, and the same way she slapped Alex the Simp in the face when he pursued a relationship with her. What they're doing is saying that I have lowered my value, and now I'm lowering myself to the black community, and that you Negroes need to see me as a high-value female. Well, I have to say this: if you could not pursue a relationship with a black man and have a black child, then why should black men want to deal with you? Because, again, for you to say that you prayed for a black child with a white man, that's a slap in the face to black men. Because if Tamera Mowry-Houesly wanted to have herself a black child, she would go out of her way to have a relationship with a black man. Because a woman who wants to have a black child will go out here and pursue a relationship with a black man. And when they pursue that relationship with that black man, and if they are a Christian, they are going to be praying to God that their child be a healthy child, and then their child grows up to become a healthy child, and then grow up to become a healthy, responsible adult. But because your Tamera Mowry-Houesly is a deeply dysfunctional, deeply damaged, and deeply deranged Afro-American Negro female, she didn't want to pray for those things. And what she's looking to do now is she's looking to monkey branch out of her failed relationship with Adam Housley into a relationship with one of these dysfunctional Afro-American Negroes. And she's looking to monkey branch because she knows, again, time is getting ready to wind down with Adam Housley. He's looking at that 40-year-old bust down, and he's looking to put her on a bus to bust downtown, where some Negro simp will wind up picking her up for 50, 60, 70, or even 80% off her original social marketplace value. And that Negro will sit there and believe he's got something of value, thinking that he's saved a lot of dollars, but when he gets with this woman, he's going to realize that she has absolutely no sense.